There is a famous piece of writing advice, often attributed to Mark Twain. He said, substitute damn every time you're inclined to write very. Your editor will delete it, and the writing will be just as it should be. Now, while we can't exactly follow that advice on a family-friendly show, the sentiment cuts deep. It suggests that the word very isn't just a filler word, it is actually a parasite. It eats away at the strength of your sentences.
It's a linguistic safety blanket. That is the best way to describe it. When you are learning English, or even just speaking casually, very feels safe. You say very happy, very big, very tired. It gets the job done. But safety blankets are for children. If you want to sound like an adult, a professional, or a masterful storyteller, you have to let go of that blanket. Because very doesn't add information, it actually dilutes it.
That's a bold claim, though. Dilutes it? If I say I'm very hungry, surely that is stronger than just saying I'm hungry.
Marginally, but it's lazy. It forces the listener to do the work. If you say very hungry, I have to imagine generic hunger and then mentally multiply it. But if you use a precise word, you paint a specific picture. That is what we are doing today. We aren't just handing out a list of synonyms. We are essentially handing the listeners a thesaurus that comes with an instruction manual. We are going to break down exactly how to replace very across emotional, physical, and professional contexts to reach that C1 or C2 level of fluency.
Let's get right into the heavy hitters, the emotional words. This seems to be where people rely on very the most. We feel very sad or very happy. How do we upgrade that?
So let's look at sadness. Very sad is a flat line. It tells me nothing about the quality of the sadness. If you are talking about a tragedy, say a death in the family or a major life event, you want to use the word devastated. Think about the root of that word. Devastation implies ruin, rubble, destruction. So he was very sad when his dog died is functional, but he was devastated by the loss of his lifelong companion carries emotional weight. It implies he's been emotionally wrecked.
It sounds much more permanent, or at least much more impactful. What about a situation that isn't a tragedy, but just bad, like a rainy vacation or a terrible job?
For that, you want miserable. Miserable captures a sense of ongoing discomfort and hopelessness. You wouldn't say the cold, rainy weather made everyone feel very sad. That sounds childish. You would say the cold, rainy weather made everyone feel miserable. It implies an atmosphere of suffering.
Okay, let's flip the coin. Happiness. Everyone wants to be very happy. But again, it feels generic. If I get a promotion, very happy feels like an understatement.
Exactly. You need to match the word to the specific type of happiness. If you are excited and buzzing with energy, use thrilled. For example, I'm thrilled to be part of this new project. It implies an electric anticipation. But if you are talking about a massive achievement, like winning a championship or graduating, use elated. Elation literally means being lifted up. The team was elated after winning the final game.
And is there a level above that? A top-of-the-world feeling?
Euphoric. This is usually reserved for a state of intense, almost drug-like happiness, where you can't think straight. You might see this in news reports about massive public celebrations. There was a euphoric atmosphere in the streets after the election results. It's a happiness that intoxicates you.
Let's talk about anger. This is one of my favorites because there are so many flavors of anger. Very angry is just, it's dull. It doesn't tell me if you're going to scream or if you're going to plot revenge.
Right. The standard upgrade is furious. She was furious when she found out he had lied. That's good. It implies high energy. But let me give you a better one. Livid. This word has a fascinating history. It comes from the Latin word for a bluish-gray color, like a bruise. Originally, to be livid meant you were so angry that the blood had drained from your face, leaving you pale or ash-colored. So, my father was livid that I scratched his new car implies a silent, terrifying, white-hot rage.
That is terrifying. And then there's that specific type of anger where you feel like you've been treated unfairly, like when a boss changes the rules at the last minute.
That is indignant. Indignation is anger mixed with a sense of injustice. You aren't just mad, you are insulted. The employees were indignant about the sudden pay cuts. You wouldn't say they were livid unless they were flipping tables. You say they are indignant because they feel morally wronged.
I love that distinction. Let's move to the physical world. describing size and scale. I feel like very big and very small are the most overused phrases in the English language.
They absolutely are, and this is crucial for creative writing or even just describing a vacation. If a building or a mountain is tall and commands respect, don't say it's very big. Use imposing. The castle was an imposing sight against the horizon. It implies that the size makes you feel small.
What about horizontal size, like an ocean or a desert?
For that, you use vast or extensive. The Sahara Desert is a vast expanse of sand. You can also use this for abstract concepts. You wouldn't say a CEO has very big experience. You would say the CEO has extensive experience in the tech industry.
And for the extreme, the Godzilla level of thick?
Colossal or gigantic, but I prefer colossal because it carries a sense of weight. The company suffered a colossal failure in its marketing strategy. It sounds heavy, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Now, let's shrink it down. Very small.
If you are talking about details, use minute, pronounced my-nute. The robot can make minute adjustments that a human hand cannot. It implies precision. But if you mean small in a way that doesn't matter, use insignificant or negligible. This is a great business word. Instead of saying, the price difference is very small, which sounds weak, you say, the price difference is negligible. It tells the other person, ignore it. It's math, and the math says it doesn't matter.
Speaking of business, that's a perfect segue. In a professional setting, relying on very makes you sound, well, it makes you sound like a junior intern. How do we sound like the boss?
You eliminate very important. That phrase must die today. If something must happen, it is crucial. It is crucial that we secure funding. If a moment changes the direction of the company, it is pivotal, like a pivot point. This was a pivotal moment in our history. And if something is the #1 priority above everything else, it is paramount. Safety is paramount in this laboratory.
I feel like paramount commands immediate respect. What about when things are hard? This project is very hard.
Never say that in a meeting. It sounds like complaining. Use challenging if you want to be polite. The first year was incredibly challenging. If you want to emphasize the struggle and the effort, use arduous. It was an arduous journey to get this product to market. And if you are talking about a competitor or an obstacle that is hard to beat, use formidable. Our competitors are formidable, but we are better.
And for intelligence, he is very smart.
It's a compliment, but it's a boring one. Use brilliant for raw intelligence, but my favorite is astute. Astute comes from a Latin word meaning crafty or cunning. It doesn't just mean you have a high IQ. It means you notice things others miss. He made an astute observation about the market trends. It implies sharpness, not just brain power. Or if someone solves a problem in a unique way, use ingenious.
Let's look at physical conditions, the weather, the environment. This is where precision really paints a picture. It is very hot.
There is a distinction here that people miss. If it is hot and dry, like a desert sun beating down on you, that is scorching. But if it is hot, humid, sticky, and you can barely breathe, that is sweltering. I can't work in this sweltering heat. You can almost feel the sweat in that word.
And the opposite? Very cold.
Freezing is the standard, but frigid sounds even colder, almost scientific. And if there is wind involved, that pain you feel on your face in winter, that is bitter. The bitter wind cut through my jacket.
What about cleanliness? Very clean versus very dirty.
If a house is clean, it is spotless. But if you want to describe someone's reputation or their work, use impeccable. His English is impeccable. It implies perfection. On the flip side, very dirty is filthy. But if you are describing a living situation that is dirty, poverty-stricken, and miserable, use squalid. They were living in squalid conditions. That word carries a lot of social commentary.
Now, we need to pause for a grammar warning, because once you start using these strong words, these C1 words, you can actually make a new mistake, right?
Yes, and this is the trap that catches advanced learners. In linguistics, we have gradable adjectives and non-gradable or extreme adjectives. A word like hot is gradable. You can be a little hot, very hot, extremely hot. But a word like boiling is non-gradable. It is an absolute limit. You cannot be very boiling. You cannot be very freezing. You cannot be very furious.
So if I want to emphasize those words, what do? I can't just leave them alone?
You can because they are already strong.
But if you must emphasize them, you need different adverbs. You use absolutely, totally, or utterly. You say, the kitchen was absolutely spotless. You say, I was absolutely livid. You say, this situation is utterly ridiculous.
So very is compatible with the weak words, and absolutely is compatible with the strong words. That's a good rule of thumb.
Precisely. It's about matching the intensity of the adverb to the intensity of the adjective.
Okay, I want to do a rapid fire round. We have a list of 20 common very phrases. I'm going to throw the basic version at you, and I want you to give me the upgrade and maybe a quick note on context if it needs it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Very rich.
Wealthy is standard, but affluent sounds classier, usually used for neighborhoods. He lives in an affluent neighborhood.
Very poor.
Destitute or impoverished. Destitute implies you have absolutely nothing, not even a home.
Very thirsty.
Parched, like dry earth. I haven't had water all day. I'm parched.
Very hungry.
Starving is common, but ravenous is better. It implies a predatory hunger. I'm ravenous. Let's find a steakhouse.
Very crowded.
Packed is casual. Congested is for traffic or blocked movement.
Very noisy.
Deafening. A noise so loud it hurts.
Very clay.
Silent, or if it's a peaceful quiet, use serene.
Very old.
Ancient. Use this for history or traditions.
Very new.
Brand new, or if it's technology, state of the art.
Very bright.
Dazzling, like a light that blinds you, or luminous for something that glows.
Very scary.
Terrifying or petrifying. Petrifying literally means turning to stone. You are so scared you can't move.
Very funny.
Hilarious.
Very serious.
Grave, a grave expression, or solemn for a ceremony.
Very boy.
Tedious. Tedious implies that it is repetitive and annoying, not just dull.
Very interesting.
Fascinating or captivating. It captures your attention.
Very shy.
Timid.
Very thing.
Slender is a compliment. Gaunt means you look sick and unhealthy.
Very fat.
Obese is a medical term. Plump is polite.
Very ugly.
Hideous. That wallpaper is hideous.
And finally, very beautiful.
Gorgeous, stunning, or breathtaking. Take your pick.
That was a marathon, but hearing them back to back, you really see the difference. Very scary sounds like a children's book. Petrifying sounds like a horror movie.
Exactly, and that is the point. Vocabulary isn't just about memorizing lists to pass an exam. It's about resolution. It's about high-definition communication. When you use very, you are broadcasting in black and white. When you use precision, you are broadcasting in 4K color.
So for everyone listening, here's the homework. Do not try to memorize all 50 words we just said. You will fail. Pick one category. Maybe it's the business words, maybe it's the emotional words, and commit to using 3 of them today. Force them into an email. Say them to your mirror.
And remember the grammar rule, if you pick a strong word, drop the very. Be absolutely brilliant today.
Thank you so much for breaking this down. It makes English feel like a much more powerful tool.
My pleasure. It's all about the right tool for the job.
We'll catch you next time. If you found this useful, send this episode to a friend who is trying to level up their language skills.